Thank you to Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co. for sponsoring this video.
Somebody order donuts?
Come.
Just letting you know, for next time, instead of summoning me through the gates of hell, you can just put your address on the app. Do you guys not have phones?
You came to the darkness for knowledge.
Actually, no, I just need the 4-digit PIN code so I can mark the order complete.
And all the knowledge you seek is here.
Diablo, the official cookbook with recipes by Andy Lunique and authored by Rick Barber, delves into the dark and dangerous world of Sanctuary, where the Diablo games take place. The world is filled with evil and demons, but in certain pockets are towns and taverns that offer comfort, respite, and hopefully tasty food. I briefly played Diablo 1 and 2, I finished 3, played a bit of 4, and to be honest, I don't really remember anything food related in those games, but maybe this cookbook will jog my memory. The cookbook is told from the perspective of a character called Tedric of the Table, who has traveled across Sanctuary, visiting the many inns and taverns and sampling their wares while compiling his favorites into this book. Each cookbook chapter is dedicated to a particular establishment with a set of 7 recipes for each location. Each recipe starts off with flavor text that contains references to the characters and locales of the games. The dishes themselves are loosely inspired by the qualities of the region, but not really any in-game items or consumables. The recipe instructions are usually very short and sweet, which is great, but for the recipes I tried, I found some of the steps to be a bit unclear. Maybe some of the steps need a little bit more detail. The types of food you'll find in the cookbook are very rustic pub fare grub, big hearty bowls or plates of warm and comforting meals. I am surprised that there are no drink recipes, considering the fact that multiple chapters are based on in-game taverns. The food photos look great and well staged, but I don't know, I feel like they don't really have that dark Diablo vibe. The overall look of them is surprisingly vibrant and colorful. In a way, that's good so that you can get a clear look of the food, but I kind of wish there were some darker and more moody elements in the lighting or plating. I guess it's kind of like when Diablo 3 was shown and people thought it was too colorful. It's kind of that same feeling. But to hell with that, let's try some of the food. I'll be making 3 dishes from the Diablo cookbook to see if the food is fire or fail. But before we travel to Sanctuary, let's make a quick stop to Japan. Better yet, let's bring Japan to us with these Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co snack boxes. Tokyo Treat is a monthly Japanese snack box where you will get up to 20 exclusive limited edition and seasonal flavored Japanese snacks. This month's theme is Okinawa Snackin' Oasis, which is packed with the tropical flavors of one of Japan's most popular getaway destinations, Okinawa. Discover sweet island delicacies and local treats like this Ariel sour cream and onion chips, this Kit Kat cookie and cream, or this tangy citrusy shikuwasa soda. Now, Sakura Co is a monthly Japanese artisan snack box that supports local Japanese snack makers and includes 20 snacks including tea and kitchenware. This month's theme is the Festival of Tohoku, where you can indulge in authentic and savory flavors that capture the essence of the region's enchanting celebrations and captivating display of culture and tradition. Enjoy a piece of Tohoku's festive charm with this traditional Tenegui Japanese towel with this cute cat pattern on it, along with some matcha genmaicha and a peanut senbei cookie. Aside from the snacks, I also love how these both come with booklets that tell you more about the origins of the snacks and fun facts about Japanese culture. If you want to come home to a tasty little surprise every month and experience Japan in the comfort of your own home, then check out these Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co snack boxes. Use the link in the description or use the code MisoHungrie to get $5 off your first order. Get it as a tasty treat for yourself or give it as a gift. Now enter the portal I have opened for you. It will take you to the barbarian city of Haragath, the last bastion of order on the slopes of Ariat and home of these scrumptious-looking black garlic mushroom rolls. In a large skillet, heat up 2 teaspoons of olive oil over low heat, then add in a diced white onion and 4 cloves of minced black garlic, and cook these together until soft and light browned. Add another 2 teaspoons of olive oil, then add in 5 cups of diced mushrooms to the pan and cook for another 5 to 7 minutes until the liquid is evaporated. After that, add in 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, 8 sprigs worth of chopped fresh thyme, and a 1/4 cup of chopped parsley. Continue to reduce over medium-low heat for 4 to 5 minutes, and once most of the liquid is evaporated, remove it from the heat. Now in a food processor, place in a cup of cashews and pulse them to a crumble. Then add in 2 to 3 tablespoons of nutritional yeast to the mixture and combine well. At this point, I completely missed the fact that you were supposed to add this to the mushroom mixture. I was cooking while watching the Xbox showcase during Summer Games Fest and got completely distracted. My bad, please don't banish me to the depths of hell. Anyway, roll out a sheet of puff pastry on a lightly floured surface and cut it in lengthwise. Then spoon in your mixture slightly off center on one of the halves of puff pastry, ideally with the chopped up nuts as well. Don't be an idiot like me. Then moisten the long edge of the pastry with some egg wash consisting of 2 beaten eggs and 2 tablespoons of water. Then wrap over the long side over the filling and tuck and roll until tight. Next, cut the roll into bite-sized pieces around 1 to 1.5 inches each and arrange them on a baking sheet seam side down. Brush the rolls with some additional egg wash and pop in the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 12 to 15 minutes until golden brown. Because I was a diabolical idiot, I ended up just dusting that cashew mix on top. Sprinkle on some parsley also, and here's my almost perfect take of the Harrogate black garlic mushroom roll. Our next stop is the Slaughtered Cafe, where we'll try the meaty specialty of Brawn the Barkeep. Let's prepare a plate of Brawn's beef bourguignon. Start off with 3 pounds of cubed boneless beef chuck and fully coat it with a tablespoon of salt. Then coat it with a half cup of flour. Once well combined, heat up 2 tablespoons of olive oil in a frying pan on medium-high heat and fry the beef until brown on all sides. Do this in 3 batches to avoid crowding the pan. Once all the meat is brown, place them all in a large casserole dish or a cast iron pot. Back to the same pan you used for the beef, toss in 8 slices of thick cut bacon chopped up and let it render for 2 to 3 minutes or until it gets brown and crispy. Remove the bacon from the pan and save the fat. In the same pan, add 1 medium diced up onion, 6 garlic cloves, and a 1/4 cup of tomato paste and fry them all together for 5 minutes. Then add in a 1/4 cup of soy sauce, 1.5 cups of red wine, and a 1/4 cup of tomato or pasta sauce. Cook this for another 5 minutes while constantly stirring until the liquid is rich and dark amber. The cookbook said to add the meat back in, but that doesn't make any sense to me since we're going to be adding a lot of beef stock to this and then we're going to be putting it in the oven, so I think it's more appropriate to add the sauce mixture to the meat that's already in the large pot, which is what I ended up doing. Also add in 3 tablespoons of finely chopped thyme, 2 bay leaves, and as mentioned, 3 cups of beef broth. Stir everything well, cover, then pop it in the oven for 3 hours at 350 degrees Fahrenheit until tender. While the beef is cooking, cook 8 ounces of quartered mushrooms with 5 baby carrots and 2 tablespoons of olive oil and a bit of salt for about 3 minutes. After the beef is done cooking, toss in the mushrooms and carrots and cook for another 30 minutes. Meanwhile, let's cook 12 ounces of egg noodles according to package instructions. Mine took about 8 minutes in boiling water. Drain the noodles and place them in a mixing bowl along with 4 tablespoons of chilled unsalted butter, half a cup of chopped parsley, and some ground pepper to taste. Toss everything together until the noodles are coated in buttery goodness. Pour some of the beef on top to complete a badass plate of Brawn's beef bourguignon. And for something sweet, we head to the captain's table for a golden medallion with a core as crimson as blood itself. Let's make some of Rishomi's spiced shortbread. Who's Rishomi in Diablo? I have no idea. But to make the cookies, place in a mixing bowl a cup of room temperature unsalted butter, a 2/3 cup of sugar, and half a teaspoon of almond extract, and mix at medium speed until it gets to a creamy consistency. Then reduce the speed and add in 2 cups of all-purpose flour, a teaspoon of cinnamon, and a 1/8 teaspoon of nutmeg. Beat for about 3 minutes until well mixed. When the dough has come together, form it into a ball, cover, and refrigerate for at least 2 hours until firm. Next step is to shape the dough into 1-inch balls on a cookie sheet about a couple of inches apart. Then use your thumb to form an indent in the center and fill each well with about a 1/4 teaspoon of jam while not overfilling. Bake these in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 14 minutes or until the edges are lightly browned. Let them cookies stand for a minute before removing from the sheet and cool completely before serving Rishomi's spiced shortbread. The roads are dark and dangerous, but maybe also delicious? Let's find out. Starting with the mushroom rolls, pretty good. Very mushroomy, and the filling to crust ratio is perfect. Bite-sized pieces that are super addictive to eat. Still mad that I didn't mix in the cashews though, but you still do get the umami nuttiness from the topping. I had some leftover mushrooms and mixed the cashews in with that, and that mixture is absolutely delicious. Way better. You get the crunch from the nuts and the yeast gives it a kind of cheesy flavor. I ate that mixture with the roll itself to get a more accurate taste, and it's super tasty. Would make this again, and next time I'll be making it properly. Next up is the beef bourguignon. Am I even saying that right? Bourguignon? Bourguignon? Let's take a big meaty mouthful of this, and although it's perfectly cooked with the beef being super tender, it's definitely on the saltier side. When the recipe called for a tablespoon of salt, it looked like it was way too much for that amount of meat. I was wondering if it was a typo, but either way, I think half a tablespoon would be more appropriate, and you can just add more salt if you need. So less salt and maybe more mushrooms and carrots also, since I think the amount the cookbook suggested wasn't enough for the amount of meat, but other than that, the dish is saucy and delicious. Love the luscious texture of the butter noodles. Next time I make this with a few adjustments to the quantities, I think this would be a banger meal. Now for the shortbread. Hey, pretty good. I'm not really a big fan of shortbread cookies, but this one hits different. I think what stands out most are the cinnamon and nutmeg. They make the base super flavorful and pair really well with that raspberry jam. The cookie has a great crumbly consistency that makes it super addicting to eat. It's really easy to make, and it would be fun to experiment with different jam flavors too. So, is the Diablo Cookbook any good? The food is pretty good, but I think the recipe steps are a bit unclear at times, and with the recipes I don't really get a strong connection with the game. It just doesn't give me Diablo vibes. Not vibing with it thematically, but I'll be making the food again for sure.